Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share a story that's a little personal, a little raw, but ultimately incredibly empowering. It's about being ghosted by someone I really cared about, and how the tables completely turned. This isn't a story about revenge, but about self-worth, growth, and the surprising ways life can unfold. I know so many of you have gone through something similar, and I hope by sharing my experience, it might offer you some perspective, or at least let you know you're not alone. So, let's rewind a bit. I met him through mutual friends. You know how it goes: the initial spark, the witty banter, the feeling that you finally met someone who just gets you. Our first few dates were straight out of a movie. We talked for hours, losing all track of time. He was charming, attentive, and made me feel like I was the only person in the room. He'd text me good morning every day and send me songs that he said made him think of me. We were building something that felt real, that felt significant. I started to let my guard down, to imagine a future, and to really invest my emotions. We had made plans for a weekend trip. I was so excited. I had already started looking up little cafes and scenic spots we could visit. The day before we were supposed to leave, I sent him a text to confirm our plans. Nothing. I waited an hour, then two. My stomach started to knot. I told myself he was probably just busy with work, but that little voice of doubt was getting louder. I called him. It went straight to voicemail. I tried again later that evening. Same thing. The entire weekend passed in a blur of confusion and anxiety. My texts were delivered, but unread. My calls, unanswered. Just silence. Complete and total silence. The feeling of being ghosted is brutal. It's not just the rejection, it's the complete lack of closure. You're left with a million questions and no answers. What did I do wrong? Did I say something? Was it all a lie? Your mind becomes a torture chamber, replaying every single interaction, searching for a clue you might have missed. I felt foolish, embarrassed, and deeply hurt. My self-esteem took a massive hit. I questioned my own judgment, my own worth. How could someone who seemed to care so much just vanish without a word? It's a uniquely painful experience because it makes you feel invisible and insignificant. For weeks, I was a mess. I'd check my phone constantly, hoping for an explanation that I knew would never come. I'd scroll through his social media, looking for signs of life, which only made it worse. Seeing him out with friends, smiling, living his life as if I never existed, was like a fresh stab wound every time. My friends were amazing. They listened to me vent, they brought me ice cream, and they reminded me that his cowardly exit was a reflection of him, not me. But honestly, it took a long time for that to sink in. The initial phase was just pure pain and confusion. Slowly, very slowly, I started to pick up the pieces. The first step was the hardest, accepting that I would never get the closure I craved from him. I had to create it for myself. I made a conscious decision to stop torturing myself. I muted his social media profiles and eventually, I unfollowed and deleted his number. It felt like a small act of defiance, a way of taking back my power. I decided to pour all that energy I was wasting on him back into myself. It wasn't easy. It was a choice I had to make every single day. I started doing things that I loved, things that made me feel good about myself. I rejoined my yoga class. I started painting again, a hobby I had let slide. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in a while. I threw myself into my work and ended up getting a promotion I had been working towards for ages. I wasn't doing it to prove a point to him. I was doing it for me. I was rebuilding my confidence, not based on someone else's validation, but on my own achievements and my own happiness. I started to feel like myself again, but a stronger, more resilient version. I learned that my worth isn't determined by whether someone texts me back. About a year went by, a full year of growth, healing, and genuinely loving my life. I was in a great place, dating someone new who was kind, consistent, and treated me with respect. And then, one random Tuesday afternoon, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's me. I know it's been a long time. I've been thinking about you a lot." My heart didn't leap. It didn't even flutter. I just felt nothing. It was him. After all this time, he had crawled out of the woodwork. Curiosity got the better of me, and I agreed to meet him for coffee. I needed to see this through, for my own sense of finality. He looked different, tired. The charismatic spark I remembered was gone. He stumbled over his words, apologizing profusely. He told me he panicked, that things were moving too fast and he got scared. He said he'd made a huge mistake, that he had thought about me every day since, and that no one he'd met since compared to me. He talked about seeing my successes online and how much he regretted letting me go. He asked if there was any chance we could try again. And as I sat there, listening to him, I didn't feel anger or even satisfaction. I just felt a strange sense of detachment. The person he was talking about, the girl who was so broken by his disappearance, didn't exist anymore. I had outgrown that version of myself. I calmly explained that I had moved on. I told him that while I appreciated the apology, his actions had taught me a valuable lesson about what I deserve, which is consistency, respect, and communication. I told him I had found that with someone else, and more importantly, within myself. Watching the realization dawn on his face was interesting. It wasn't about me winning and him losing. It was the final, definitive closing of a chapter. He had ghosted me, hoping to avoid a difficult conversation, and in doing so, he had lost someone who was willing to give him her whole heart. Now, he was the one left with the regret, the what-ifs, and me. I was free. I walked out of that coffee shop feeling lighter than I had in years, completely certain of my path and my worth. So, if you're going through this right now, if you've been ghosted and you're feeling lost and worthless, please hear me. Their silence is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of their own inability to communicate, their own fears, their own issues. Don't wait for them to come back and give you closure. Give it to yourself. Invest in yourself. Love yourself, and build a life that is so full and happy that if they ever do reappear, you won't even flinch. You are the main character of your story. Don't let anyone turn you into a forgotten plot point. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it resonated with some of you. If you've been through something similar, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. Let's support each other. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.